Now, we know when observing CCP politics, one of the methods is to pay attention to what has happened that wasn't supposed to happen, like wave after wave of purges targeting Xi Jinping's loyalists in the military. But an equally important and often overlooked indicator is when things that were supposed to happen suddenly don't, such as the missing monthly Politburo meeting in May. So we're, 3 days into the new month? In China, it's 4 days, and yet there's no mention anywhere about the Politburo meeting. The meeting is usually held every month without fail, and two things are guaranteed. One, it's always convened by the party leader, and it's reported with identical language across all official party media. Even at the height of the pandemic in early 2020, the meeting was temporarily handled by the standing committee. There's really only one possible explanation. Something major has happened, and it directly involves Xi Jinping. He may no longer be able to convene it. This abnormality also indirectly confirms the rumored expanded Politburo standing committee meeting that allegedly took place in May. Reportedly, the meeting took place not just once, but multiple times, and is an extraordinary gathering that can only be convened under special circumstances, and it would replace the normal monthly Politburo session. More critically, it appears that this special meeting was convened by Xi Jinping's opponents. So Xi has not appeared in public for 14 days now. The Chinese government's website dedicated to Xi's activities stopped at May 20th, with no updates. This aligns with unverified online claims that Xi has stayed in Henan, Luoyang, after his inspection tour and has not returned to Beijing. Some suggest that Xi Jinping didn't even want to return to Beijing. Now let's talk about the sudden death of former vice chairman of the CMC, Xu Qiliang. According to Xinhua's obituary, Xu died of illness at 12:12 p.m. So 12 minutes after noon on June 2nd, 2025, in Beijing at the age of 75. On surface, the official obituary offers nothing unusual, but the timing of his death is what raises eyebrows. I'll explain that later. Now, first of all, people don't believe he died on June 2nd at 12:12, because according to earlier leaks, he died from heart attack in the early morning of May 28th, with the first overseas reports emerging on May 31st. So he had, according to the leak on May 31st, he died on May 28th under immense pressure in recent days as part of the political purge and tightening of control. Marginalized and cleaned out from power, he fell into a state of extreme mental distress and just collapsed and died. So the source that revealed this put it bluntly. So it was said, Xu Qiliang was scared to death. Well, since the initial leak, there have been different variations of the story. Some said he died on June 1st while jogging. Some others said he died on June 2nd, which is the official narrative. But all versions point to a sudden cardiac event. So given the fact that his death was already leaked on May 31st, he most likely died before that. He most likely died on May 28th and not in June. There has been many discussions about his real cause of death because people find it hard to believe. Now, think about it. It's hard to believe that a general who had been through decades of CCP's brutal factional politics and political purges would die from fear and anxiety, unless he has committed some serious crimes such as a coup attempt or treason. That's why some people believe that he might have been implicated in Xi Jinping's various attempts to stage a coup to regain control of the military. If so, Zhang Youxia might have made him be scared to death, right? Now, there's something else that's really strange about his death. Now, if he died on May 28th, it took the authorities 5 days to deliberate how to announce his death. In the end, they announced that he died on June 2nd at 12:12. The timing feels intentionally symbolic because the number double 12, 1212, has significant political implication. There are two major political coups d'etat in East Asia linked to 1212. That's December 12th. In China, December 12th, 1936 marked the famous Xi'an 事变, Xi'an incident, which is a military coup that changed China's history and it helped the CCP defeat the nationalists. And it's widely known as the Double 12 incident. And it's the most famous political coup in modern Chinese history, and all Chinese know it. In South Korea, December 12, 1979 saw another Double 12 coup. General Chang Du-hwan launched a successful military coup. And in fact, in 2023, South Korea released a critically acclaimed film about this event. And I think it's called 1212, The Day. So ask for yourself, could this double 12 timing be purely coincidental or someone made it so to suggest that General Xu Qiliang was involved in a coup? Because he didn't die on June 2nd. Well, believe what you will, but I find it odd that she died exactly on June 2nd. That's 6-2. 6 times 2 is also 12, right? So it's June 2nd, that's 12, and then at 12:12 p.m. Now, in Chinese culture, it's this kind of symbolism or euphemism are very important in political games. For Westerners, you may think, that's just maybe pure coincidence. But in Chinese politics, they use a lot of symbolisms. It's because of the lack of transparency. They must rely on symbolisms to get the message across. So now let's talk about General Xu Qiliang. So on July 2nd, 2018, there's a national security expert by the name of Bill Gertz published a lengthy expose revealing that Xu Qiliang had been a key figure in Xi Jinping's effort to consolidate personal power. Xu played a central role from 2012 to 2018 as Xi's enforcer in controlling and reshaping the military. He was also responsible for Xi's military reforms. Now, Xu Qiliang and the other two famous fallen Xi Jinping generals, Miao Hua and He Weidong, all had overlapping work experiences with Xi Jinping in Fujian, and they were all products of the Nanjing military region. That was before the military reforms. So during General Xu's time as vice chairman of the CMC, both Miao Hua and He Weidong rose swiftly through the ranks. So again, that makes people think, is his death purely coincidental, or is it somehow related to the downfall of Miao Hua and He Weidong? I think Li Keqiang's death is the real reason that Xi Jinping has lost power. Think about it. If Li Keqiang is alive today, he's definitely the party leader taking over now. And Xi Jinping knew this and therefore feared him. But Li Keqiang's death was the turning point when Xi Jinping started to lose complete trust from people. Because of Li Keqiang's death and because of the removal of Hu Jintao at the party Congress, Xi Jinping's opponents are afraid that Xi is not giving up and that he's organizing a coup and is still looking for opportunity for a comeback. So, and that probably explains why General Xu Qiliang's sudden death.